Hi guys, my name's Katherine. I'm one of the tutors here at Chegg. I tutor science, some math, English, and Spanish. And today we are going to be discussing primary and secondary sex organs. So the purpose of primary sex organs is twofold. First, they produce gametes or sex cells, and second, they produce hormones. And these hormones have a lot of different functions throughout the body, but one of the most important ones that we will be discussing today is that they help with the production and the development of the secondary sex organs. So in males, the primary sex organ is the testes, and testes produce sperm, and then they also produce the hormones testosterone and DHT. Conversely, in females, the primary sex organ is the ovaries, and they produce eggs or ova, as well as the hormones progesterone and estrogen. And so, just as a point of caution, I guess, and of clarity, it wouldn't be right to say that that males have testosterone and that females don't, or that females have estrogen and that males don't. That's not the case. It's just that males have more testosterone than women and vice versa with estrogen. It's also not fair to say that, the primary sex organ is, the most important, because without other sex organs, for example, the penis in men or the uterus in women, it wouldn't be possible for reproduction to occur. So the fact that it's the primary sex organ doesn't mean that it's the only important one. But anyways, like I mentioned before, the hormones that the primary sex organs produce are a big part of what helps with the development of secondary sex organs during puberty. So secondary sex organs aren't required for reproduction, but what they do is that they signify to potential mates that this is an individual who is past puberty, who is healthy, who is ready to mate, and they can give some hints as to fitness, comparing two different, for example, comparing two different males of a certain species, in, like, in the animal kingdom, lions, a lion with a thicker mane is more sexually fit and will have more mates than a lion with a more paltry mane. But talking about humans, so in human males, some of the more commonly noticeable or commonly discussed secondary sex characteristics are things like a beard, deepening voice from an increased size of the vocal cords, chest, armpit, and pubic hair, an increased larynx size and the somewhat prominent Adam's apple, increased muscle mass, increased stature, meaning height, as compared to women and also as compared to boys, larger bodies overall as compared to women and boys, enlargement of the penis, and then a lower body fat percentage on average than women, and also than boys. In human females, you get larger breasts, widening hips, and a decreased hip-to-waist ratio, especially compared to men, but also compared to girls. There's armpit and pubic hair. There's also fat redistribution towards the hips and the thighs, which helps with that change of the hip-to-waist ratio. You also get development of thigh muscles behind the femur rather than in front of it after puberty. Women have smaller hands and feet on average than men. Also, women's elbows hyperextend 5 to 8 degrees more than men's. This is a difference. It's not necessarily something that anyone I know looks for when they're picking somebody up in a bar, but there you have it. It is still a secondary sex characteristic. Women have rounder faces than men do on average. And then also the labia minora, which are their inner folds in the vulva leading to the vagina, become larger during puberty and they change color. In the animal kingdom, like I mentioned before, you've got lions that have a thicker mane when they're more sexually fit. Narwhal tusks tend to be longer in more sexually fit animals. And then finally, there are size differences. between the between males and females, and that's seen as a secondary sex characteristic. So I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you did, you are always free to contact me on Chegg for a private lesson. All right, thanks so much.